Yeah, his feet went in.
Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. I'll turn it over to Secretary Sievertson for the roll call.
Senator Bral. Here. Senator Beckstead. Here. Senator Berry.
Present.
Senator Branham.
Here.
Senator Collister.
Here.
Senator DeCall.
Here.
Senator Dominguez.
Here.
Senator Fornerado.
Here.
Senator Hornsby.
Present.
Senator Hurtado.
Present.
Senator Duswall.
Here.
Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator Shetry.
Here.
Senator Muir.
Here.
Senator Ortiz.
Present.
Senator Price.
Present.
Senator Rosales.
Present.
Senator Sidweeks.
Present.
Senator Withers.
Present.
Senator Worley.
Thank you. Now, if you'd all rise with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Senator Beckstead?
Move to approve last week's minutes.
Seconded.
It has been moved by Senator Beckstead to approve last week's minutes, seconded by Senator Withers.
Unanimous.
Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, last week's minutes are approved. Senator Beckstead?
Move to approve this week's agenda.
Second.
It has been moved by Senator Beckstead to approve this week's agenda, seconded by Senator Muir.
Unanimous.
Unanimous has been called by Senator Collister. Seeing no objections, this week's agenda is approved. We will now move to opening our gallery for questions and answers.
Thank you for giving me the position, and I want to do right by you guys, so let me know if there's anything I can do to help you guys. One thing I have noticed is you guys have sent a lot of emails to my personal email, and I now have access to the Chief of Staff email. So if you have, if you're requesting absences, things like that, if you guys would send those to the ASISU Chief of Staff email, which is asisucos@isu.edu. Please send those there so that I can keep everything organized. It's just housekeeping for me. I also emailed all of you guys the committee worksheet that I have. I tried to give you guys what you asked for. Everybody has their first or second choice, unless the case that the committee was no longer meeting. And there was a couple that are no longer meeting. So if you guys have issues that arise as we move forward, again, this is still a working document. I haven't finalized these committees. I haven't even heard back from all the representatives. So please let me know if you're going to have an issue, and then we can work that out and we can figure out another representative and place you on a different committee. So does anyone have any questions, or have you looked over that and seen a concern that you guys have right now?
Senator Rosales?
Thank you. I saw on the sheet towards the bottom, there's two different committees and they're highlighted yellow, and there's nobody put in there. Is there a reason they're highlighted yellow?
Yes, there is the elections committee, and there is some issue as far as what that committee does and how that works with the elections commissioner. If you guys are to approve the elections commissioner tonight, then we can work with that person to establish what that committee's job and role would be. The other one is the government relations committee. That was a position that was chaired by the lobbyist. Because there is no lobbyist currently, we don't have necessarily a need for a government relations board. If you guys feel very strongly, feel free to email me and we can discuss it. But we will look at that if the lobbyist becomes available or is a position that's going to be held. So for now, that's the reason those two are highlighted, and there's no issue. Other questions? Last thing, my office hours are going to be really sparse before the ambush. So please email me if you would like to sit down, and I will make time to do so. Otherwise, on Fridays, I may be hit or miss. I also may be in Boise due to some family circumstances, so please just email me if you have a question. And I'd love to sit down and talk with you, but my office hours are going to be a little hit or miss for the next couple of weeks. You guys have any questions?
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, guys.
Is there anyone else from the gallery who would like to approach? Seeing none, we will now move to our announcements and correspondence. We'll first hear from Val Davids, Student Organizations Coordinator.
Good evening. And I wanted to thank you guys for coming to our financial new officer workshops that we had on Tuesday and Wednesday. So thank you for your support. We were excited to have you there and see your bright, shiny faces and add to our conversation. So thank you. Tonight, the group that I'm presenting is the Kuwaiti Student Organization. And one of their purposes is to provide fellowship among the Kuwaiti students, faculty, and the Idaho State University community, and anyone interested in the Kuwaiti culture and their club goals. And I've been working with Fahad, but tonight it's not Fahad. I just met Tahal, and I will turn it over to him, and he will spell his name for the minutes for you, and I will turn it over to him.
Hello, everybody. My name is Talal Al Saidi. The spell it is T-A-L-A-L. Last name A-L-S-A-E-D-I. I'm Vice President of KSO. My work is help the student in the university and get to many activities for the student here. Not like Kuwaiti student, but every student here. And that's it. If anybody have any question, come.
Senator Johnson?
Yes. Thank you. So you said NSO?
KSO.
KSO. And what is
Kuwaiti
it?
Student Organization.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
So this would be the appropriate time to move to approve their club? Senator Collister?
I move to approve the KSO Club, Kuwaiti Student Organization Club.
Thank you.
It has been moved to approve the Kuwaiti Student Organization Club by Senator Collister, seconded by Senator Sudweeks. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, we approve the Kuwaiti Student Organization Club.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Val. All right, up next we have Louis Eakins, the Director of Public Safety.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hi. Okay. My name is Louis Eakins, and I'm the new Director of Public Safety here. Just started back in May. And at the school where I came from, Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama, which is an HBCU, and I've also worked in Houston, Texas, too. I was the chief of police there for about nine years. I have about 30 plus, let's just say close to 40 years of law enforcement. I started when I was 10. So that's my background, basically. And I love working with students, and that's why I chose to come here to ISU to work with the students here. I'm actually used to working with the student government organization. At some schools where I've worked, they have assigned a committee to work with me when there are just a lot of issues going on, or otherwise my door is always open, even now, unless I have a meeting with our president or with my wife. then you guys are just welcome to come in and talk to me about anything. And I also have my business cards here too, and I'll be sure to pass those out. These business cards have my cell phone numbers on them because I want you guys to be able to reach me however you can. Text messaging always works well for me. I'm the king of text messaging from my iPad to my iPhone. I do email 24/7. It's just easier for me once I have a thought at 2 a.m. in the morning, get up and send it off, okay? You guys are not like that. I don't expect you to answer me back at 2:30, but I just want you to know that you have access to me 24/7. And I really, really mean that too. I'm not just throwing this out to you and just saying it. I actually mean it. I would like for you guys to be a force multiplier for me and my staff, meaning that I have a limited number of persons, officers working. We are working 24/7, and I'm not going to give you the spiel about what we do and rave and parking and all those different things because you guys are very, very seasoned. So you know what we do. We are making some changes, but several things that I would ask for you guys to do. If you see something of a safety concern, let me know. Just send me an email, send me a text. If there is a lighting issue, if there's some stranger hanging around all the time and you just wonder, can someone just check this person out? You know, then that's something that I need to know about. Let's say that you just don't want to call, and I see some people smiling. Are there some stalkers around here? Okay. Well, anyway, my thing is, you know, and from time to time, rumors may come up about something that's just very outlandish. Just call me, just text me, just email me and say, Louis, I understand that some guys were caught on Red Hill building a bonfire and they were roasting some pigs, you know, whatever weird things. Just email me, just text me, just call me, and I will respond back. If I don't have the answer, I will find that answer for you. I need for you guys just to be the eyes and ears that will help us do our job better. Again, my door is always open. Feel free to get with me. There are some changes that I'm looking at right now with our staff. I'm trying to get more staff. Of course, I have 4 campuses. I'll be going to Boise tomorrow. I was in Boise last week, Idaho Falls this week. So I do a lot of traveling, but every campus is very special to me. So I know that there are those who you guys represent. And so if they have issues or questions or comments or whatever that has to do with public safety, let me know. Now, I cannot fix tickets, okay? Cannot fix parking tickets. So I would, but see, I know that this is the governing body and you guys park correctly. You don't do anything that's going to bring embarrassment. Okay, but anyway, I just want you guys to know that I'm here for you, and I do have some cards. Do we have time for questions, Ms. Vice President? Okay.
Absolutely.
If
Anyone
there are any
has questions?
questions?
Senator Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Where's your office located?
Oh, very good point. Do you all know where Taco Bell is? Yeah. Right. Well, it's catty corner to Taco Bell. It's on 5th and East Humboldt. I'm still new. I don't even know the name of the street, but it's right across catty corner from Taco Bell. And the office number is 2515. That's the extension 208-282-2515. But the best way to reach me is through my cell number. Okay, so if you just want to call the main number, now do call, I mean, if there are bullets flying, yes, don't call me then. Call the people who are working, who are in the field. So dial that 2515 number, then you can reach an officer and then they will let me know what's going on and I will come out also, okay? Anyone else?
Right.
Well, thank you guys for having me so much. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Akins. Lewis? I said it wrong the first time. Okay. Now we have Todd Johnson from the Veteran Student Services Center. And Hero.
My PowerPoint gets up there a little bit. Well, I'm Todd Johnson. I'm the Director of Veteran Student Services Center here at ISU. We're just literally down the hall here. I always like to present to the student government just so that we can get you on board with what we do. You're our greatest advocates on campus. You interact with faculty, you interact with students, you interact with staff. So you're one of the greatest sources of communication that we have here at this campus. I just want to tell you a little bit about what we do, and I'm going to ask Zara to kind of click me through. Actually, go back one more, please. Veteran Student Services, this is one of the best shots of our space. Idaho State University is a vanguard of veteran student services. They not only saw the need when we had folks returning from Iraq and Afghanistan, but they also knew that these veterans needed certain programs and certain processes to help them transition back into normal life and definitely make the transition into school. One of those things is a space that they can call their own, a place that they can go and consider it safe, consider everyone that comes in that space vetted in some way, shape, or form. And Student Affairs at ISU stepped up, they saw the need, they provided that space. Like I said, it's part of Student Affairs. You're always welcome to come visit. If you're stressed out, come hang out with Hero. It's always welcome to you, but it's a space specifically for veterans and military-friendly folks. Go ahead, next slide. Our mission, our true mission, is your veteran and military connection at ISU. The mission statement that supports that is the Veteran Student Services Center advances student learning and assists veterans, service members, and qualified dependents with their transition to Idaho State University, streamlining access to academic, social, and health services, and providing opportunities for leadership, community engagement, and career preparation. It's a long-winded way of saying we care and we support student veterans and their families. But next. So here's why I do what I do and why I'm drawn to this job. We have approximately 21 million veterans in the United States that have served in the United States military. Of those, 2.8 million served in Iraq and Afghanistan. That's a large portion of our population. Now, granted, all in all, it's right around 1% of the entire population, but they're 1% that stepped up to guard the wall to make us all safe. So they deserve some recognition and support. As you can see, the numbers for killed in action are pretty tremendous. What is it? I can't do the math real quick. About 8,000 that we've lost in combat since 9/11. But the other number that you see on the right side, that's 52,000. That's the one I'm most concerned about. Those are folks returning from combat who have need of support, who need support in education, who need support in healthcare, need support in transition, sometimes addiction. And that's another reason why what we do at Idaho State University is so important. Go ahead and click. One of the populations that I'm most concerned about are those that were injured in combat, whether they were injured from an enemy bullet or an event, an activity where they got harmed or hurt. We have approximately 300,000 that were diagnosed with traumatic brain injury and 250,000 that have some evidence of post-traumatic stress. Now that's a combined number. Some of those PTSD also have TBIs and vice versa. But the biggest number up there is that 1/3. Only about 1/3 of those folks who are coming back with these symptoms seek seek treatment or assistance. We need to make sure that number increases, that we get more of those folks into a treatment program of some kind, or at least help them transition. ISU is great because we've got things like our disability services who are just stellar. They really do help a lot. Veterans need a strong sense of purpose. A lot of times you have people who graduated high school, a few days later they're in basic training, a few months later they're in charge of a multi-million-dollar aircraft. A few years later, they're back on the streets trying to get jobs at Walmart. And they lose that sense of identity, that sense of purpose, and they need to be in higher ed. They're a tremendous force for higher ed. Go ahead, click to the next one. Student veterans represent a highly diverse group. They are literally cross-section of the diversity of the United States, religion, race, gender, all those qualifiers. They're a true representation of America. They're skilled leaders. They've done things and seen things that allow them to lead others and be a good example in most cases. Yeah, within reason. They're often unaware of their mild trauma or their brain injuries. They suffer in silence, and often the female population suffers even greater in silence. We're dealing a lot this year with what they call military sexual trauma, whether it was an actual offense of a breach of trust, or whether it was just a verbal, and I don't mean just whether it was a verbal breach of trust that caused them the trauma. We're working a lot with that this year and working with health professionals on campus to address those kinds of issues. They don't see themselves as victims, and they need understanding, compassion, and patience to make the transition from the military into school and be successful. But they're amazing in the classroom, and I encourage you to get to know some of our student vets on campus. Go ahead to the next slide. Service members have been trained to work through difficult situations together. That's a key word, together, and surmount obstacles that stand in the way of a successful mission. Their education is a successful mission, and I want to emphasize the together part. They really do thrive when they're working together as a group through Veteran Student Services. The other reason that I'm appealing to you all is we have a reduction in force of up to 100,000 in the next couple of years, where the Army alone is talking about cutting 40,000 jobs. We're going to the smallest Army since the Carter administration, long before you guys were born. Most of you, all of you. So we got a lot of folks who are leaving the military that need purpose and need a home, and I want them to be Bengals. That's where you guys can help me so much to reach out to friends and family and say ISU is the place for a military person to come and get their education. Go ahead, next slide. So what we offer, academic, educational, community, and family resources and services. We have a VA education and university benefits team. We have a safe social and study environment with our student lounge. We have professional staff. Unfortunately, my staff's small, but we have a professional staff and veterans, student advocates that are student employees that work for us. Computer Resource Center. Veterans identified that they wanted their own lab, so they can sit and concentrate on their work without watching every door and every face and every person in a room. They can just do their work, and you'll see there are a lot of folks that use our computer lab. The Idaho Division of Veteran Services provided that lab for us. We have a counseling group this year. I've got a addiction and recovery specialist who is a CPI working with us. You all know what CPI is, right? Okay. He's working with us with addiction and recovery. He's also the liaison for the Veteran Treatment Court. So we're getting folks who get in trouble in the community, they go into veteran treatment court, and we tell them, you have to get a job or you have to go to school. And if you decide to go to school, we got a guy who can walk you through every step and watch over you and protect you while you're doing that transition. And then we also have a graduate social worker student who's in doing crisis intervention and intake referrals. So we're working really hard on the mental health side. Our club is part of Student Veterans of America. So it's a small club in ISU, but it's part of the larger national voice of student veterans throughout America. And we went to National Con last year. We didn't go this year because nobody wanted to go to Disney World. That's in Disney World, Nash. But anyway, but we went to a national conference last year where Vice President Biden came and spoke to us. Secretary McDonald, the Secretary of the Veterans Administration, came and spoke to us. So we're a small university, but we're big players nationally. And then we have an Idaho Falls representative. I don't know if you have Idaho Falls on the phone tonight, but and I'm sorry, I apologize. My bro Jake. I met Jake at orientation. His very first day. So we have Jordan Tribely on Idaho Falls campus who takes care of the student vets down there, and he and I talk almost daily in support of the student veterans on that campus. Go ahead, next slide. I'll hurry. So my staff, I talked about a small staff. It's me. I am my staff professionally. Now, I have Kirsty Beck, who does administrative work for us for both Veteran Student Services and the Lead Center. We kind of share her. She's fantastic. And then we rely on students. So we have 3 CPIs. We have Casey Cornelius, our addiction recovery specialist. Michael Mears works with Central Academic Advising. He does advising to veterans. And we've got Jordan Tribely, who is our Idaho Falls liaison, and he's also the liaison to the National Guard. And then we have a variety of Veterans Administration, VA work studies. And we let the VA pay our students to work for veterans on campus, which is really cool and a great use of their veterans benefits. Go ahead to the next slide. I talked about the club. I'll tell you a little bit about the activities we're going to do here later on. But it's great to have a club with a national connection. Go ahead. So what makes us unique? We have Bannock County Veteran Services, in our facility. So I know no other veterans group on any university campus that has the county vet rep, the VA rep in their facility. And she takes care of all the things that are non-education, healthcare, home loans, all the things that have to do with their VA records. She does that, and she's right here on campus, and that makes our facility extremely unique. We partnered with the Career Center this year. We've had what we call our career closet, and that's a professional clothing loan. So if our veterans need a suit for a job interview or court or anything like, hopefully not court, but anything like that, they can come and get professional clothing from us. We've got suits and dress shirts and the whole 9 yards to make sure that they look their best when they go and represent ISU at any kind of activity or function. And then the Career Center helps them with resumes, interviewing, anything that career choice, career path searches, and those types of things, anything that has to do with their career. So we're working together. Now, the reason I say we're a new partnership is if you go to the Career Center and you say, I'd love to go to this interview, but I don't have any clothing for it. The Career Center will refer you down to the Career Closet. It's a student affairs facility, and we will help any student who needs professional clothing to go to any job interview or function like that to get suited up. And it's a great collaboration here on campus. And how am I doing on time?
You're
okay.
fine.
I can talk faster. The other thing that makes us unique is we are the home of the Idaho Service Members and Veterans Legal Clinic. So not only student veterans, but community veterans can come and meet with legal representation once a month here on campus and see if they, after speaking with the lawyer, if they need to obtain counsel or how to file paperwork or anything like that, they can do that meeting with the lawyer through the VA. And that really makes us unique. And it's another connection of ISU to the community. The lawyers represent the state bar, and they really like how ISU stepped up to provide help to the community. Go ahead, next one. And then Hero makes us unique. She's lying hiding under the desk. She's had a big day at the health fair. Hero was the idea of one of our interns that we had through AmeriCorps. She found out that there were facilities in Colorado Springs that were using dogs for rape assistance. When somebody had a trauma, they would bring the dog in. The dog would stay with the victim while the police interviewed them, and they were getting so much better information. And then she found out another university had a dog, and so we started looking at some of the bigger name organizations for a vet dog, and realized that we had some of the greatest resources ever right here in Southeast Idaho. So we stepped up. We are one of 2 universities in the United States that has their own facility emotional support dog. A lot of facilities have a vet who happens to have a service dog. This dog belongs to ISU. She's an ISU employee. She's part of student affairs. She's here to love on student vets and students alike. So it makes her very unique. And we don't use any of the funds that are designated for student veterans with Hero. All of her care is donated, and all of her feeding is through donations, again, to through the ISU Foundation. She's self-sustaining. And if we don't have the money, I'll pull it out of my pocket, but we're going to make sure we never use a student dollar to take care of the dog, because, you know, that's just not appropriate. Next slide. Okay, I have to, yeah, got to throw in the feel-good slide. Go ahead, keep going. One more. That's her birthday. That's her 1-year birthday. Okay. We go through it, just so you know, when student vets come up to see us, we go through a checklist. And we make sure that they have everything they need for admissions, all their testing. We'll help them waive their app fee or suspend their app fee until their benefits come in. So we make sure that if a vet seeks us out, that we help them in every way possible to get into school. We talk about academic responsibilities. We hook them up with their benefits, and we hook them up with all our campus partners. We can go to the next slide. And there's a list of a few of our campus partners who have agreed to provide proper and appropriate services to student veterans. And you can see it's an extensive list. And this is the greatest family I've ever belonged to here at ISU. They really do take care of their students. Go to the next slide. What makes us super phenomenal in the vet student world is our VA education benefits team, military education benefits team, because Carrie Larson in the registrar's office knows everything that these student vets need, sends out tons of emails to remind them when things are due, supports them in every way possible, helps me with a calling campaign to try and get them over hurdles at midterms and at finals. And we work very closely together. And again, he does the education benefits so I can do the advocacy, or vice versa. I do the advocacy so he can just concentrate on the education benefits. And we really do have an outstanding team. And yeah, I'm bragging a little bit, but I'm very proud. Next slide. So we also have an outstanding connection with off-campus partnerships. And I think we've made a concerted effort to reach out to the community and tie the community back to ISU. You can go to the next slide. We have our own scholarship through the Blake Stevens Fund. Blake lost his life in Iraq, and a lot of his friends get together at Hooligans and do a foosball tournament. And they raise about $1,500 a year to provide scholarships to military and military affiliated students. And then one of your number, Cale Bergeson, who graduated year before last, he has decided to come up with his own money to start a Veterans Alumni Scholarship. And he's going to provide the seed money out of his own pocket to make that happen. That's how valuable this Veterans organization and program is to our current students and our alum. Go to the next slide, please. That's him right there, actually. So that's our goal. Get these guys to graduation. Get them beyond the obstacles of post-military. Get them beyond the obstacles of developing a whole new future for themselves and get them to graduation so that they can shine. Cale went on. He's now the director of the Veterans Homeless Shelters for the SECA organization here in town. And, he's a rising star. Go ahead to the next slide. Just want to talk a couple of things we have coming up. We are doing a College of Tech Veteran and Military Recognition Breakfast. A lot of times they feel a little out of the loop. So we're going to go up and feed them a lot of pancakes and tell them how much we care about them. We're participating in Ambush. Everybody running? Oh, man, a lot of head nodding. Come on. I'm 52 and I'm running it. You can join me. We're going to do the Ambush. We're going to be in the homecoming parade. We're going to do the Veterans Day celebration this year in Idaho Falls because we're going to do a whole week of activities for veterans in the spring again this year. At Christmas time, we're going to do Operation Diaper Drop, which is collecting diapers and baby-related items for Benny's Pantry. And then we also participate in Toys for Tots so that the kids in Southeast Idaho can have a great Christmas. And then we'll be doing in springtime, we're going to do the Veteran and Military Appreciation Week. And this year we're going to do a full military ball. For anybody from the school or community, we're going to do a full formal military ball. And I think that's going to be really great fun. And I hope you guys can be involved. Next slide, please. So some of the needs that we see, we can always use financial support, obviously, and infrastructure support. We've got great people stepping up from the community to help us out. You guys you always have our back through ASISU and the Involvement Center. Career Closet could always use professional clothing, suits, ties, accessories, all new or lightly used. We'll take any donations. So if you know anybody who can help us out, Dad lost a lot of weight, we can take his fat suits or whatever. Or if Dad gained a lot of weight, we'll take his skinny suit. And then of course, Hero, anytime you need Hero at any kind of functions that will show how much ISU cares about the students in the community, please let us know. And if you have any way of supporting Hero, we greatly appreciate that. You can go to the next slide. So I appreciate your time very much. I appreciate your partnership. ASISU's partnership is extremely valuable to our program and to our student veterans. Do you have any questions for me?
Senator Johnson?
Who's that guy right there?
What's that?
Who's that guy on the screen?
Oh, that's Casey Cornelius. He's our addiction and recovery specialist.
I think I've seen him before. That's why.
Yeah, he's around campus. He's a senior. He's a senior in CADC, and he's having the difficult battle of deciding whether he goes to be a social work master's, or a lawyer. So,
that's a good
yeah,
picture.
he really did. He really found his groove at ISU, and he's going to be one of those superstar alums too in the next year.
Senator DeCall?
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious, how big is our student veterans community in Idaho State University?
Oh, very good. I think I missed that on the slide. I apologize. We have 400 student veterans, approximately, give or take. We seem to maintain about that 400 range on student veterans using their military benefits. And that's because a lot of times it's self-report, it's kind of hard to track them. But if they're using their benefits, we have hard numbers. And it's right at 400 almost every year. About 40 of those are in the National Guard. And then we have, we're tracking approximately 700 students on campus. So we have, we provide services for approximately 700 students. And then, of course, faculty and staff. It's an important demographic, and anything you can do to help when you run across veterans in the community that need that sense of purpose. The biggest reason I think it's important in the next couple of years is a lot of these guys went into the military hoping that it was going to be their career for the rest of their lives. They went over to war, they paid their dues in combat, and now they're getting out not because of their choice, but because the military is reducing their forces. And we have a statistic in America of approximately, they say about 22 a day are committing suicide. Now, you take 100,000 people and you put them on the streets involuntarily without the proper support and treatment, what's your suicide rate going to be then? And I want to catch them. And there are a lot of people like me at other universities who want to catch them. So if you know veterans, if you know folks separating from the military, tell them there are a lot of people out here that care. One of the things I want to show you real quick before I depart, October 24th, we are having the 20th annual Southeast Idaho Homeless Stand Down. And that's for all homeless. We provide special services, obviously, through the VA for veterans homeless. But if there are any of your clubs, organizations that can participate in helping us as volunteers, it's great incentive points. We'll be collecting those points. Again, it's October 24th in Reed Gym. It's not sponsored by ISU, but Student Affairs provides the space, and a lot of us who are in at the university participate. A lot of health professionals, organizations on campus participate. So if you're able to come and help the homeless from the community, I will leave you the flyer. You can get the information off of it. Thanks, you guys. You're amazing.
I think we actually have one more question. Senator Withers.
Thank you, Vice President Belknap. And thank you, Mr. Johnson, for the presentation and your dedication to bettering this program than it ever has been, and your constant improvement on it. And this is just for clarification. Are we also able to donate, or I guess not me, but in general, donate female professional clothing as well?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Did I mention? Okay.
We just mentioned the suit, so I just wanted to clarify.
Sorry, yes, we have a section for female professional clothing, and that's an area that can always be improved upon. So yeah, we haven't left anybody off the roster. Yeah, we'll take anybody, any professional clothing, please.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
One more thing. I just want to thank, because you mentioned the career closet. Are you in Kappa? Or Alpha Kappa Psi? Oh, I want to thank Alpha Kappa Psi because they step up every year and help us maintain it, and provide some tremendous services there too. Clubs are amazing. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. You're good to go.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. We will now hear from Mackenzie Smith for our President's Report.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, your flash drive.
That's all I think.
Okay, guys, so we're going to start by talking about the I Love ISU campaign. So the first thing is we have to make the motion to not have a meeting next week so that we can actually participate. So
Senator Sedgwick.
I move to suspend in the Senate Rulebook Article 2, Section 3, Subsection A until September 16th at 11 p.m.
It has been moved to suspend the rules by Senator Sudwick, seconded by Senator Muir. Unanimous has been called.
Roll call.
Senator Dominguez, that was out of order. You have to call objection. Roll call.
Objection, division.
Are you calling division or roll call? Okay. Objection roll call has been called by Senator Dominguez. I'll now turn it over to Secretary Severson for the roll call.
Senator Baral,
Yes.
Senator Beckstead, Senator Barry,
Yes.
Senator Branham,
Yes.
Senator Colister,
Yes.
Senator DeCall,
Yes.
Senator Dominguez,
No.
Senator Fornerado,
No.
Senator Hornsby,
Yes.
Senator Hurtado,
Yes.
Senator Giswal,
Yes.
Senator Johnson,
Yes.
Senator Shetry,
Yes.
Senator Muir,
Yes.
Senator Ortiz, Senator Price,
Yes.
Senator Rosales,
Yes.
Senator Sidweeks,
Yes.
Senator Withers,
Yes.
Senator Worley.
No.
Would anyone like to change their vote? Seeing no changes, this motion passes that we will suspend the rules.
Perfect. So because we are doing this in lieu of our meeting, you guys are expected to help out with this. Clearly, you don't get a free Wednesday just because we don't have a meeting. And that's something I really want to talk to you guys about. I'm going to send around a sign-up sheet for the hour that you are going to be working. It is from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, or 8 to 9. You are definitely welcome to help all 3 hours or 2 hours if you would like to. But if you sign up, you need to be there. We cannot have people signing up and then not showing up because it's going to look really bad on us if we have an entire table full of open calling stations. So if you sign up, be there. I'm not going to be able to email everyone and remind them to do this. So please put it in your phone. Please put it on your calendar. Put a sticky note in your bedroom if you have to, because this is very important. We are helping students get scholarships with this. And if we aren't there, it just looks really bad on us. So please be accountable. And that's not just with this is with everything. If you sign up for something, you have to be there. It looks bad on ASISU. It gives our reputation a terrible tarnish if we do not show up to things that we are committing to. I would rather you guys not sign up for something than sign up for something and not show up. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. Please only sign up for times that you know that you are available. I know a lot of you guys are only going to be available when we usually have a Senate meeting time. That's why we did this. We're not having meetings, so you guys have this free time. So please keep that in mind. So I'm going to send around this. Put your name where you are available, and I will send out an email to remind you guys of that after this meeting. Another part of the I Love ISU campaign, on September 15th, we are having a I Love ISU McDonald's meal from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. A portion of the proceeds go back to student scholarships. So remind your friends, remind your clubs, remind anybody that you can to please eat at McDonald's on September 15th from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. Because that's going to help students get more scholarships. And so anything that we can do as senators to help these students, we need to be trying to do. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, homecoming is a ways away, but it's still something that I wanted to kind of bring up, because if we plan to do a good float, which I hope we will, we probably need to start kind of at least planning what we want to do now. Typically, it's been the communications committee that has forefronted the homecoming float, but in last year and a few recent years, people have been less keen on that and almost wanted to do their own, it's not exactly a committee, but group to plan and execute the homecoming float. We do have funds for that, so it's not out of pocket. We have funds in ASIC's budget. So I just kind of wanted to ask you guys if you thought that we should just let communications committee do it, or if you would prefer to have a group on your own. And you guys can kind of let me know what you think. Okay, well, if you guys are interested in working, yes.
Senator Worley.
So we're speaking about whether we think communications should just do the float?
So it's the ASISU float is typically what it is on. We can do something else if we find interest in doing something else, but ASISU always represents themselves in the parade. So you just have to decide if there's people that are super passionate about building a float on their own, then we can do that. If not, communications would take it over.
Senator Hornsby.
I would like to recognize Senator Beckstead.
Senator Beckstead, you're recognized.
So if any of you guys are interested in, either you have a concept for the float or you're interested in helping build the float, please keep in mind that that's coming up. If no one shows interest, it will be under communications to do this. So communications committee, kind of think about that a little bit too, because that is something that's going to be pretty time consuming. But we all should be willing to help with that. In an hour a week is not going to take a lot. And then just to kind of reiterate what Senator Withers said, Service Saturday is a big deal. I hope you guys will try and make it out on September 19th, especially because this is Service September, which we are pairing with the I Love ISU Foundation and that campaign to put that on. ASISU is. So please try and make it out to Service Saturday on September 19th. It's a big deal, and it's helping a lot of people in our community, which also looks really great if ASISU is out in the community doing things as well. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Senator Collister.
Are you going to be at the I Love ISU campaign call thingy?
I will be at all 3 hours of the calling. I will be giving you guys your call sheets of people you will be calling. So I will be there all 3 hours. So if you want to bring me candy, definitely can. And then the I Love ISU McDonald's, I'm going to try and stop by and help out there too. So you guys will have friendly faces. You won't just be the only one randomly there. So
Senator Hornsby.
I don't know if this is out of turn, but if there are any individuals who are interested in helping with the float, if you could please let communications committee know, because I think if we don't hear anything from anyone, we'll probably just take that responsibility upon ourselves to complete. So please let Raul know if that's something you're interested in.
okay, well, I think that's it. Thank you guys.
Before we move on, I have a small point of order. If you're going to speak or if you'd like to be recognized, if you could hold your hand quite a bit out there. I've noticed some of you are halfway, a little bit shy. Just remember that I'm quite short from the waist up. So if you're holding it right here, I'm probably not going to see you. So if you would like to be recognized, really get that hand out there. Now we will hear from our committees. First, we'll hear from the Senate Pro Tem Committee from Senator Withers.
Thank you, Vice President Belknap. So the Pro Tem meeting will take place, the first meeting will take place this Saturday from 12 to 1. And the chairs that emailed, please just bring the requested information that I listed there. And if you're unable to attend that meeting, please just send me that information in an email. And I'll report back to what we cover in that meeting next week or 2 weeks.
Thank you, Senator Withers. We will now hear from the Finance Committee. Senator Withers.
Thank you, Vice President Belknap. So Finance met for the first time today, and we just did some general introductions, but we don't have much new to report this time. So just expect some up and coming things in the upcoming weeks.
Thank you, Senator Withers. We will now hear from the Rules Committee. Senator Branham.
Thank you, Ms. Chair. Rules Committee has nothing new to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Branham. We will now hear from our Appointments and Review Committee. Senator DeCall.
Thank you. This week we had our second Appointments and Review meeting on Tuesday. In our last meeting, we interviewed Michael Garcia for the Traffic Appeals Officer position. I move to approve Michael Garcia for the Traffic Appeals Officer position.
Second.
It has been properly moved by Senator DeCall, seconded by Senator Collister. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, the motion to approve has passed.
And secondly, we interviewed Haley Dugan for the election commissioner position. I move to approve Haley Dugan for the election commissioner position.
Seconded.
It has been moved by Senator DeCall to approve Haley Dugan for the elections commissioner position, seconded by Senator Hornsby. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, the motion to approve Haley Dugan for the elections commissioner position passes.
And we interviewed Adam Reed for publicity coordinator position. I move to approve Adam Reed for the publicity coordinator position.
Seconded.
It has been moved by Senator DeCall to approve Adam Reed for the publicity coordinator position, seconded by Senator Withers. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, the motion passes.
And lastly, we interviewed Maria Madrigal for the Supreme Court Justice position. I move to approve Maria Madrigal for Supreme Court Justice position.
Seconded.
It has been moved by Senator DeCall to approve Maria Madrigal for the Supreme Court Justice position, seconded by Senator Withers. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, the motion passes.
I would like to call President Smith to swear them in.
I do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the Associated Students of Iowa State University, and to act in a manner which would be a credit to the association and to Iowa State University. I promise to accept all duties assigned to me by the Senate, and fulfill my responsibilities with diligence. I will, my utmost, promote and enhance the name of Iowa State University.
Is that all from appointments and review?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator DeCall. Next, we'll hear from our outreach committee, Senator Muir.
Thank you. We did not have a meeting this week, but I do have an appointment set up with Pat Terrell to discuss setting up student forums and polls next Wednesday. So we should have more information about that at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Muir. Next is our communications committee, Senator Chetri.
Thank you, Chair. We had our meeting today. We brainstormed about the biggest issues regarding communication across ISU. The two biggest issues we came up with are one, communication across clubs, and communication with people who are not involved with the clubs. So we divided our group into two. One group will work to help bring people into clubs. Another group will promote communication among the clubs. So that's all we discussed in our meeting today. Is there any question for our group?
Is that all from communications?
Yes, that's all.
Thank you, Senator Chetri. And last, we'll hear from our service committee, Senator Price.
Thank you, Vice President Belknap. Okay, I guess I have to speak for this. But we have an event coming up for our service committee, the Wellness Complex grand opening, and we had 9 senators sign up. Senator Rosales was the one that had sent out the spreadsheet if you wanted to sign up. The spreadsheet is now closed, so if you're still wanting to sign up, please just come talk to me afterwards, and I can get your contact information and show you the times that you that will be available to volunteer. I will send out an email later tonight. She gave me the coordinator from Portneuf gave me specific instructions for the volunteers who did sign up, so expect an email by tonight with those instructions. Other than that, the next event will be held on October 7th, which is our break for breakfast at Portneuf. And that is actually for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so that one is held from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and which is on Bengal Wednesday as well. And we will send out a spreadsheet that has that we will be able to sign up through as well for easy contact information. And then if there's any other specific service projects that you would like to see throughout the semester and next semester, please contact me after this meeting or by email. Other than that, that's all we have.
Thank you, Senator Price. We have no old business or new business on the agenda, so we will reopen the gallery for any final questions and answers. Recognize Lowell Richards.
Thank you for your time this evening. I am passing around a flyer advertising the second annual Student Global Leadership Program. Last year, it was titled the Student Leadership Study Abroad, but because there is some confusion with Study Abroad and that program, we changed the name to Student Global Leadership Development Program, Leadership Program. This is a great opportunity to learn leadership skills, to meet with professors and other business people in the community and across the country who will be coming to visit and to teach us about leadership in a global perspective. It culminates in a 10-day European trip to Amsterdam, London, and Paris. You'll see the information on there. There are scholarships available for the first 20 students. It's a $1,500 scholarship. The total cost to students, if you register by or enroll by September 30th, is $2,000 or $2,024. That price will go up to $200 after September 30th. The company EF Tours is a third-party company that we go with to do the logistics. They're giving us an early bird discount if you enroll early. You should have all received an email today on this as well. But I want to make sure that you have this information. There is an information session, I believe on the 17th and 18th here in the Student Union Building. If you want to know more information, please come to those meetings or call me, email me, come by my office. It's a great opportunity. I looked up airfare to Europe right now, and it's about $1,800. So $2,000 is a great deal. It covers airfare, lodging, breakfast every day, 3 or 4 dinners. All you're responsible for are your lunches and a few dinners and any spending money. It's a great opportunity. Last year, we visited the European headquarters for Google and took a tour of the Google building there. And Zara went last year. She can talk to you about the experiences that she had. So again, we started advertising last night, and we already have 4 students enrolled in the program. And again, for the first 20, you do get that $1,500 scholarship. So thank you for your time.
Are there any questions on the floor? No? Thank you, Lowell. We will now have our all right, if you now all stand and join me in singing the ISU fight song. Senator Collister.
I move to adjourn.
It has been moved by Senator Colister to adjourn, seconded by Senator Rosales. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, we move to adjourn. And now we will turn over to roll call from Secretary Severson.
Senator Brawl.
Here.
Senator Beckstead.
Here.
Senator Barry.
Present.
Senator Branham.
Here.
Senator Colister. Senator DeCall.
Present.
Senator Dominguez.
Here.
Senator Fornerado.
Here.
Senator Hornsby.
Present.
Senator Hurtado.
Present.
Senator J. Swall.
Here.
Senator Johnson. Senator Chetri.
Here.
Senator Muir.
Here.
Senator Ortiz.
Present.
Senator Price.
Present.
Senator Rosales.
Present.
Senator Sidweeks.
Present.
Senator Withers.
Present.
Senator Worley.
Here.
Meeting adjourned.